Okay, class. Now that everyone has finished reading Ben's Big Ideas, let's answer some questions. Here's your first question. What did Ben Franklin publish articles about?
Oh no. I remember reading about Ben Franklin, but I don't remember what his articles were about. How am I supposed to answer this question?
Don't worry, you'll learn some tricks about how to answer reading questions. The teacher asked a literal question. Literal questions have answers right in the story. Click here to learn how to answer literal questions. What did Ben Franklin publish articles about? A. Fire safety. B. The first library. C. Mail delivery. Let's look in the book. Look at this page. Franklin published articles about fire safety. In his day, fires were common. Most buildings were made of wood. Let's look at the question again. Here's a big hint. The question has this important word in it. Read to see what the book says about articles. Then click and answer. Click here when you're done. Read to see what the book says about articles. A. Fire safety. That's it. Ben published articles about fire safety. That's the trick to answering literal questions. You look in the book.
Let's learn about text types. Did you know that anything you read can be called text? The text you read is usually one of two kinds, literature or informational text. Click this book to find out about stories. Here's an example of literature. It's a storybook. You can read stories in a picture book, chapter book, or novel. Remember what you learned about story maps? Stories have important parts like the characters, the setting, and the plot. Click here. This is a poem. A poem is a type of literature that shares ideas and feelings. It usually has short lines of text and often uses words that rhyme. But what if you have a question about why it rains? Or you need to write a report about bees? You'll need a different kind of text called informational text. Informational text helps answer your questions by telling you more about a topic. Click here. This is text from a website. The internet is a great tool for finding informational text. Be sure to get a teacher or parent's help finding the informational text you need. Let's learn. This is a newspaper. It's full of informational text about different topics, such as world news, sports, and the weather. Now let's take a look at informational text in a textbook. Click. This is a textbook. You probably use one at school. It's a great place to find informational text. Let's see if you remember the difference between literature and informational text.
Look at these two pictures. They are very similar, but not exactly the same. Compare. That's what we do when we look at how two things are the same. Click something that is the same in both pictures. Way to go! Now look at these two pictures again. Contrast. That's what we do when we look at how two things are different. Click something that is not the same in both pictures. Way to go! Now you get to compare the things that are the same and contrast the things that are different. Listen to this story. Jordan rubbed his eyes. It was late. He was tired. He walked to his closet. Slowly, he pulled the door open. Surprise! Click Move On when you're ready. Now, listen to the second story. Santiago rubbed his eyes. It was late. He was tired. He walked to his closet. Slowly, he pulled the door open. Surprise! Click Move On when you're ready. Now you'll sort pictures from the stories to compare and contrast them. Drag the pictures to the correct place. Put it here if it was in the story with the blue door. Put it here if it was in the story with the green door. Put it here if it was in both stories. If you don't remember what was in the stories, click here. Drag a picture to the correct place. Good job! When you find things that are the same, you compare. When you find things that are different,
So remember that context is the information that helps you understand what you are seeing and what you are reading. Click Move On. Now we are going to use context to help us understand what we read. Let's read the sentence together. This is too big. Move the word that makes sense in this context into the blank. Correct! This dress is too big. Each one of these words makes sense in this sentence. We need more context. Click this button to get more context. Let's carefully read these sentences together and pay attention to the new context. This is too big. It doesn't fit me. Now you have more context. Does your answer still make sense? Do you want to change it? Move the word that makes sense in this context into the blank. Correct! This dress is too big. It doesn't fit me. These words make sense in this context. Click this button to get more context. Let's carefully read these sentences together and pay attention to the new context. This is too big. It doesn't fit me. It falls off my finger. Now you have more context. Does your answer still make sense? Do you want to change it? Move the word that makes sense in this context into the blank. Correct! This ring is too big. It doesn't fit me. It falls off my finger. This word makes sense in this context. Now click the word in the last sentence that helped you the most to get the right answer. No, this is the context clue. Now you are ready to read on your own and use context clues to understand what
I did a better job of making my point. But how did I do that? I supported my point with reasons. A point is like a tabletop. It needs something to hold it up. And if you don't support your point with reasons, your point may not hold up. A reason is an answer to the question, why? As in, why is your point right? Let's help Ruth do a better job of supporting her point.